All right, how's it going, guys? I'm back from Boston. I thought I would record more videos when I was there. Turns out I did not, but I did did read a shit ton. So I read 5 books in 2 months. I learned like so much in those 2 months, just to kind of like about myself, and then I guess like direction going forward. I feel like reading has helped with that, and then also on top of the fact like what I was doing out there, which I'm gonna keep that private. But I just kind of wanted to spend some time talking about the different books that I've read in the past 2 months. I've read 5 books in the last 2 months, and I went from like barely reading at all to reading this humongous like amount in like such a short amount of time. And I really think this is like one of the better habits that came out of the whole experience. So I'm just like here to talk about what I read and what I learned in the last 2 months. So let's get straight into it. Um, First book is The Dip by Seth Godin. I hope I'm saying that right. Um, this book will make you think, man. This book is a thinker. So basically, this book talks about uh, being the best in your field at a certain subject and just like when to quit, which I know that like sounds really bad, but basically it'll say, hey, like there are some things that you might be doing in your life that might not lead you to your goals, and you need to identify what won't lead you to your goals and then what will lead you to your goals. It also teaches you like how to identify what you're good at and why you should want to become the best at what you're good at. So this book, it's literally like, dude, you can finish this in like an hour if you lock in. You can finish in like maybe an hour and a half if you lock in. It's like 80 pages, bro. Like this is no brainer. Just finish it in like 2 hours and you're good. Um, yeah, this is no particular order. This is like the latest book I read, but I'm just like kind of going skinniest to fattest just because the stack. Whatever. Right. Okay, next book. We got The Alchemist. So this is a pure fiction book. It is written by Paulo Cello. I hope I'm saying his last name right. I've read this book in the past. The last time I read it was like my senior year of high school, and I decided to reread it and buy a new copy. Someone borrowed my old copy and never gave it back. You know who you are. Um, so I decided to reread it. Very good book. It's about kind of finding your journey or finding what you want to do in life, following your personal legend, which is just like your dream and aspiration, and why that's important and why it leads to you having a higher quality of life instead of living a life that others want you to live. Um, so it's a purely fiction book, great story, but you learn a lot from it. Like a lot of the stuff that is mentioned in this book applies to real life, and it's like, dude, this is like 200 pages max. I think it's like, hold on. Um, let's see. It is. I will give you. I'm like curious to know. 170 pages. So this is like another. You can crush this in like 2 days if you really want to. Again, I took my time with this. This is one of these books that I think you should take your time with and like highlight and annotate. I don't know if I can show you, but I'm gonna put the mic down for a second. Like I highlighted and stuff. I don't know if you heard that, but I said I highlighted and stuff. Um, so yeah, good book. Should I be giving these ratings? I don't even know, man. Yeah, just good book. Just read it. I think it's good. Next one, Extreme Ownership. This one was lying around in the office. A coworker recommended I read it. You know who you are. Thank you for the put on. This book has like impacted me so much, and I will be referring to it a lot. This is one of these books that you want to keep around. It's not like a book you read once. This is a book that I will always be referring to. Basically, it's about these two Navy SEALs and their time um, fighting ISIS in Iraq, and how that applies to leadership and how that applies to business and just leading a team in general. So the way the book is structured is they'll talk about like a military event or a mission that happened, and then they'll reframe it in a general life type of advice form, and then they'll apply it to business because their whole thing is like they have a company where they teach people in business how to apply like sealed tactics to their business. This book kind of sits personally with me because like come on, I'm Iraqi, and my dad actually served for the American military in this war. So this book kind of like gave me an insight as to like what he was doing. I'll like throw up pictures somewhere. Picture here now, editor. So yeah, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. This book will do you wonders, and I think is extremely relevant to the stuff that I'm going to be doing in the very, very near future. Um, so a little bit of a foreshadow there. This book, I will always refer back to it, and it's taught me a lot about just becoming a better leader, kind of just owning my life in general. So yeah, no one's there to save you. Read this book. I think it's super important. Also, like hardcovers, dude. I hate I hate the freaking the paper things, bro. Like I always take them off. I don't know if that's like a good thing, but like there's something about like having a book like this. It's just aura. I don't know. But yeah, this book 10 out of 10. Recommend everybody should read this. Um Next book, um The Essential Guide to RF in Wireless by Carl J. Wiseman. This guy is like super active on LinkedIn. Like I sent him a message thanking him for this book. He was just like, appreciate it, bro. So basically, all this book is, it just kind of like goes over the basics between the basics of RF components and like how they integrate with one another. This was kind of important to some of the stuff that I was doing. Um, so basically, it'll just like go over like the different parts. So like, what is a mixer? What is an antenna? What is this? What is that? How they integrate with one another. It's just like super visual. Like, I don't know. You can see like a lot of the pages are like this. So it will literally go by like component by component. Um, so like as I was mentioning, antennas, um, mixers, oscillators, just like literally everything you need to know. Just like the basics of just how kind of this stuff works, just because like I needed to have a general understanding of how this stuff works. I'm not an EE at all in the slightest. So this was must read. So yeah, I again another great book. I'm not giving these ratings. I suck at ratings. So if you're interested in RF, very fundamental stuff, this is a good book. Okay, my thing like fully stopped recording, but the last book I kind of wanted to talk about was the Apollo Guidance Computer by Frank O'Brien. This is a pretty thick book, guys. It's like essentially dang near a textbook, and essentially this kind of goes through the entire story about the Apollo Guidance Computer and the motivation behind it, how they engineered it, and the different implications that eventually took humanity to the moon back in 1960, the 1960s. Um, so it's like super informative. It goes through the entire programming process, and then as well as like kind of what this looked like in the actual module. And they had to jump through a lot of hoops, dude. This was actually the first digital flight computer ever. So anything that has like an autopilot that's digital nowadays. So like literally every plane originated from this. So this was a first in humanity, first of its time. They had 4 kilobytes of memory to work with, which, like, if anybody is in computer science, like, that is freaking diabolical for the amount of shit that they had to deal with within the capsule and then, like, actually landing it in the moon. Now it's just, like, memory that they can read and write. They had rote memory as well. I think it was, like, 72 kilobytes of just, like, hard-coded memory, which are just, like, hard-coded programs that are automatically ran onto the computer. Like, you can't erase them or anything like that. So yeah, they talk about like how that was done. Like, you had to weave it and shit. Like, dude, crazy stuff that they had to go through. I'm very grateful for the technology that we have today, because this was a mess. They had to program all into like punch cards and assembly like virtually destroyed me in the, like, I think I got a B minus in that class, and like I was genuinely trying in that class. So yeah, shout out to the engineers that did that, because like this right here set the standard for the thing I'm recording on right now, like just everything. Um, so yeah, it's important why we have space systems, because they lead to awesome innovations. And this book kind of goes over the entire story from like when Kennedy first announced that, like, hey, we need people on the moon, to, oh shoot, we actually have to design this thing now, and like the whole design process. So this was like an actually interesting read. And I think anybody within like the computer science space, or just like, I don't know, the engineering space, should just read cover to cover. Yeah, I learned a lot from that book, just about like making design decisions as well. That's like another thing that um, stuck out to me as well. Just being super careful when designing stuff, and being super intentional um, with your engineering choices. So yeah, yeah, that's all the 5 books that I read over the summer, in the span of 2 months, and I went from like barely reading at all. So yeah, if you want to pick up reading, it's like you just got to pick the book up and read it. Not that hard. Um, so yeah, I hope to take like everything that I've learned um, within these books, and then within that experience I had in the last 2 months, with me into the next semester, final year of college um, on the way. And yeah, I really hope to impact others with the knowledge that I have attained. Um, so yeah.